Big night, you guys. Today's proceedings, unexpectedly to me, were like that helpful moment in the old Agatha Christie-style British detective story, right? You've been following along, more or less. You know who most of the characters are. You can at least remember most of their names. You know the basic plot of this mystery. But then there is this kindness, this great helpful moment in the story where the detective sits down under some stupid pretense with some other character, and in their conversation, they give you all the answers. It's okay you haven't been paying close attention all along. They, in this conversation, are going to recap the whole story. And not only will they get to the big answer, the big whodunit, they will also give you the solutions to all the other little mysteries and red herrings that popped up over the course of the story. That was Michael Agatha Christie Cohen today. So, for example, why did Michael Cohen make the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels from his home equity line of credit rather than from, I don't know, his bank account? We learned today it's because that account was paperless. No statements related to that home equity line of credit were going to be mailed to his house. So Michael Cohen's wife was never going to see some inexplicable $130,000 payment on a statement and question him as to what he was up to. Now we know. Also, why, when the reimbursement was made to Michael Cohen for him paying for Stormy Daniels' hush money, why did that include not just the Stormy Daniels reimbursement, but a bunch of money for a bunch of other things? Well, we learned today that this was going to be the last money Michael Cohen ever received from the Trump Organization. In these payments, they included everything he was owed. They were zeroing him out. He was leaving the company. And why was he doing that? Because if Michael Cohen was still a Trump Organization employee like he had been, it wouldn't make sense for him to be getting checks as a retainer for legal services. He would just be getting a salary like he had been for years before. So instead, Cohen leaves the Trump Organization, becomes the personal attorney to the president, which makes the legal retainer checks look like that was how Trump was paying for Cohen's services as his personal attorney. In reality, Cohen was never paid anything for being personal attorney to the president. That's just what they called it. That's just what they called him, so it wouldn't look so weird that Trump was paying him $35,000 checks every month. Oh, now that makes sense. Also, why did prosecutors go out of their way to point out that Ben Roethlisberger, the former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, had been at the golf event with Donald Trump at the time of the Trump-Stormy Daniels alleged sexual encounter? Now we know. Contrary to Trump's denials that he had sex with Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen testified today that when he asked Donald Trump if anything had happened between him and Stormy Daniels, Trump bragged to Michael Cohen that, yeah, even though he was there at this golf event with Big Ben Roethlisberger, the women there, like Stormy Daniels, they wanted him more than they wanted Big Ben. All the little mysteries that have popped up over the course of us learning about this scandal, all the little mysteries that have popped up are inexplicable sort of sidebars and detours that we didn't necessarily understand as the prosecution has laid out its case thus far. Michael Cohen today provided the all is revealed scene in this detective story, tying up the loose ends, filling in the gaps in the story. And yes, bringing us to the main event, the big whodunit. Michael Cohen, longtime lawyer, enforcer, bully, quote-unquote fixer for former President Donald Trump, the man who, in the mob analogy, was not so much the hitman as he was the underboss, the man who testified today about, for example, telling suppliers and contractors and vendors to Trump University that they would get 20% of what they invoiced Trump University for, or they'd get nothing and they'd like it. Michael Cohen gave testimony today that Donald Trump was in the room where it happened in the worst possible way.